in the end? Is that a case of mixed emotion?
Tammy Abraham.
Tammy, congratulations on the goal, but was that pure relief on your part to rescue a result in this game?
It was. In the first half, we made it difficult. I had a chance in the first half that I should have put away, and someone at my level should take them chances. You know, we had a few chances in the first half, and they scored from every shot. And we knew we had to come out in the second half and keep going, not drop our heads, and that's what we've done.
You did mention the early chances, but how as a team did you make it so difficult for yourself in that first half?
I think when the first few chances don't go in, you know, you start to panic a bit, and you know, we made a few errors, and at our level we shouldn't make them errors, but you know, we're still a work in progress, and hopefully we can improve.
Your manager made changes at half-time, but in terms of his message to you as a team, what was necessary to be said?
We all kind of went in and everyone's a bit head down and all sorts, so he had to lift us up. He said we don't look like a team right now willing to go out in the second half, and you know, as a team we had to lift each other, and as you can see in the performance in the second half.
How important, looking back, was Mason Mount's goal coming when it did?
Very important, very important. Yeah, we knew we had to come out in the second half and try to get that early goal, and thankfully Mason got that goal, which gave us good belief.
As a team, did you genuinely believe at half-time you could get back into this game and secure something?
I knew we'll get a few chances. You know, to come back from 3-0 is never easy, and you know, give credit to the boys who never dropped their heads, and we kept going even though it looks like it was impossible.
You are a work in progress team, as you rightly said, but what should you as a team take away from this 90-odd minutes?
First of all, we need to cut out the mistakes as a team, not just defensive work. As a team, we need to cut out the mistakes so we don't concede. We need to be strong together and just keep encouraging one another.
Well, they certainly did encourage one another in that second half. Will Frank be pleased with the character that they showed in that second half, do you think?
Yes, it's a big step, but you don't want to become a team that just reacts, you know, after the event. You want to become a team that does it straight away. They needed to react in this matter. They did. It was always about the first goal. Can we get it? Can you get it as quick as possible? And then you will make them nervous. They did get it. And yes, second half they were better. The intensity was higher, but then still it's a work in progress. The giving chances away need to stop, otherwise you're going to go nowhere.
Okay, well, shall we have a look at that third goal from Chelsea in the second half? Tammy Abraham just before full time, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea were putting all the pressure on at this point, knocking balls, hopeful balls in the main into the box, and they get a little bit of luck. The ball drops, should have been cleared properly by Robson Cano, but then the ball drops, and that's exactly who you want. You'd centre forward. Look at him, he's proactive, he's waiting for that type of mistake, and it comes, and he can't miss from there. We see a slight handball there as well, Seema, which last season might have contributed to the goal being disallowed, but the new rules this year means it's not, and obviously Abraham nicking the point at the end.
Absolutely, you're spot on there. Well, let's actually update you and show you what that new rule is. This is obviously from IFAB. The updated handball guideline is that it is not an offence if after an accidental handball the ball travels some distance, pass or dribble, and or there are several passes before the goal or goal scoring opportunity, Jimmy.
Very confusing, but luckily for Chelsea that the rule has been changed and that they don't have to go back. Although he puts it back in, you can see that it hits Kai's hand, arm, and it got cleared, not well, luckily for Chelsea again. But then what happens after Abraham runs in as a good striker would and picks up the pieces, and it becomes a really simple goal, and it's 3-3.
And it is a good thing, Michael, isn't it? Because we want to see goals like that stand, don't we?
Yeah, we do. It's not just to see more goals, it's just for fairness, really. That's why we want a good rule. And I agree with that. Listen, if the ball had hit his arm, he crosses it, and Abraham scores, then it will be disallowed. But then, you know, West Brom have had the opportunity to clear it. It's then dropped to a Chelsea player. He's then shot, and, you know, there's a couple of phases before that. So, you know, I know people say, well, how far do you have to go back? But I think it's pretty easy to know now that, one, if it hits the arm of the goal scorer, or the assist maker. So apart from that, it's a much better role.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the other Chelsea goals. The first Chelsea goal came from Mason Mount. Do you think the keeper should have done better with this one, though, Jimmy?
Yes, he should, but he's guessing. We all know great cross from James. We all know that Mason Mount can do this. He's got a wicked shot, but the goalkeeper already makes a step to the left because he's thinking that it's going to his left corner, and then he's way too late to go back on himself because all his weight is there. He makes a little step and he's too late. He can't guess. He has to wait, and if he doesn't guess, he might have put a hand against this.
And you know, the one thing you can't allow is Mason Mount to get into that position because you know what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, he's got a record of scoring goals right the way through his youth career as well, so we know that he's a midfielder similar in many ways to Frank Lampard. He likes making late runs, he likes shooting. Sometimes I think he can, because everybody knows he's going to shoot, sometimes he should have a little bit of disguise and fake to shoot and slip some balls in, but he was absolutely right to shoot there, and that's the end result because he does hit a good ball.
Well, at half-time we were sat here wondering what Frank Lampard would do with this team, what substitutions would be made. Hudson-Odoi was brought on, and he made an impact because he scored the second goal for Chelsea.
He made an impact, a great goal, the second goal. Here James was a little bit lucky, but then here Odoi gets the ball from Werner and finds a 1-2 with Kai. The finish is really good. It's a really good finish. I would be proud of that. I think Mike would be proud of that as well, Michael. But Odoi can do so much more. He can do so much more. He made the difference in the second goal. But there is so many more moments that he can really, be a little bit more dominant and attack the defenders and go more. He's got that in him.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was more excited about Hudson-Odoi about 2 years ago than I am now. I'm watching him now and thinking, is it that Achilles injury? It was a bad injury. You don't want to really rupture your Achilles tendon. It is a bad injury. But I thought he was even more exciting. I was watching him a couple of years ago and he was beating players, he was running at players. Now that was a brilliant goal. Great finish, but it's not what we're used to seeing. He's more of a tricky winger that gets past people and crosses the ball in. So I want to see him return to that level. Maybe, as I say, the excuse is he's had a bad injury, so hopefully it takes a bit of time and he's getting back over that now.
Well, clearly it's totally mixed emotions for Frank Lampard there, and you can see he's frustrated and will have a lot to work on, I think, before the next match. He did mention Alonso there, not happy with him today.
No, and rightly so. You lose your man for the second goal. And also the first goal is really unnecessary. So I can understand that. What the problem is for Frank, and I think he will be thinking about that as well. 3 matches played and already 6 goals against. And for Chelsea, that is way too much.
Yeah, exactly that. Should we have a look at that third goal that they conceded then? Talk us through this one, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 were real big individual mistakes. This is a set piece. You can see that just Alonso's started off with his man and he's just let him go. I'm not sure whether he's passing him on to Reece James or not, but he's just let him go. Reece James, I don't necessarily think it's his fault. Yes, you've got to look around and be aware of things, but there's a spare man at the front post, there's a spare man just near the middle of the goal and there's one behind, so it really is Alonso for me letting his man go, and you can't pass men on a corner. I mean, you've got to stick with your men.
No, it goes so quick. It goes so quick. You cannot pass man on. You have to just stay with your man. That's your man, and he's not allowed to score until the end, until that ball is cleared, and then you can let him go. And he doesn't do that.
We also have to give credit though to West Brom for making them suffer in the first half, because the 3 goals they scored, they took full advantage of Chelsea's mistakes.
Yeah, they did, definitely. I mean, Chelsea made mistakes, but they did capitalise on them. I mean, a lot of times you can accuse teams of, we had loads of chances and we should be converted. Well, West Brom converted everything that they got given in that first half. So it was that was pleasing for them. And as Jimmy alluded to before, I think if you had asked Bilic before the game, or offered him a point, he would have snapped your hand off. The only disappointment is you're 3 up, you're virtually counting the points and looking where you are in the league table. But from West Brom's point of view, they've done well tonight, and they've not made many mistakes themselves. They've just been prized open by a very good team.